Today I want to try to answer the question, are we in a housing bubble here in the Austin, Texas real estate market? And hey, if this is your first time to my channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living here in Cedar Park, Texas, then be sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so that you'll be notified every time a new video is posted. And you often hear me say that almost every day I get calls and texts and emails from people that are moving and relocating here to the Texas area, Central Texas, and I absolutely love it. So if that's you, if you're thinking about Cedar Park, Leander, Liberty Hill, Austin, Pflugerville, Round Rock, Georgetown, you've come to the right place. But give me a call, give me a text. I don't care, send me a carrier pigeon. I'll be happy to help in any way that I can. But let's talk about housing bubbles and try to answer the question about the Austin real estate market right now. Are we in a housing bubble? Coming up. I want to answer this question. Are we in a housing bubble here in the Austin, Texas real estate market? Right now, our median sale price for the whole Austin MLS is up 42% over the same period last year. And last year we had a 9.2% appreciation in home prices. So 2021 is an extremely different year. What is the definition of a bubble? Well, if you go and do an internet search, here's one definition that you come up with. A bubble is a rising demand in real estate prices that is fueled by demand, speculation, and exuberant spending up to the point of collapse. So many people are looking at our Austin market right now and are asking the question, is this a bubble? Is this what we are experiencing? So I had the privilege this morning of sitting in on a Zoom conference call with Mark Sprague, who is the Director of Capital Information with Independence Title. And he was specifically addressing this question about our Austin, Texas real estate market, because real estate, remember, is local, local, locals. There is no such thing as a national real estate market. So when you want to discuss bubbles or prices or just real estate appreciation, you have to look very locally. Now, Mark is an analyst, he is an economist, and he spends a lot of time analyzing our Austin real estate market. And the short of it is, he believes that we are not in a real estate bubble, and he gives multiple reasons. Now, I was in Florida during the early 2000s when we saw prices run up in real estate, and it was the factors there is what I just described a moment ago as the definition of a bubble. We had more demand than supply. We had exuberance in the market, and we had a lot of speculation. But what we did have, though, is we actually did have supply that was coming on the market every day, so especially in new construction. But people were buying a home, having it built, and by the time it was built, turning around and selling it. And that's basically one of the definitions of speculation. But Mark gave, in the webinar I was on this morning, 10 reasons as to why we are not in a housing bubble. And if you're thinking about buying in the area here, you definitely want to know these 10 reasons. Reason number one, inventories are at a record low. As a matter of fact, Mark says that we are 16,000 homes short of the demand that is out there right now, and we are 10,000 lots short of people that want to build new construction. So the rise that we're seeing in prices, the bidding wars that we are experiencing on our listings and even on new construction is the product of supply versus demand. We simply have much, much, much more demand than we have supply. Reason number two, builders simply cannot keep up with all of this demand, and they can't build homes fast enough for the buyers that want to buy new construction. And if you keep in mind that it takes 2 to 2.5 years for a new development to get to the place where you can actually buy homes, Mark Sprague actually believes that it's going to be 2024, 2025 before we have enough inventory in the new construction areas here around Austin in order to meet the buyer demand. So another reason that we are not in a bubble. The third reason we're not in a real estate bubble is because mortgage rates are still at historical lows. I mean, people can get rates down around 3% if you've got good credit. So we're seeing low rates, which is attracting more and more people into the market, and people that are wanting to buy to take advantage of the low mortgage rates, of course. Reason number 4 that we are not in a real estate bubble is because lending requirements are the strictest that they have been in 30 years. So when I was in the real estate bubble in Florida back in the early 2000s, buyers could get a mortgage if they had poor credit. Buyers could get a mortgage if they had no money. Buyers could get a mortgage if they had no job. And of course, all of that led to speculation, which led to the real estate market collapse. We are not in that same type of environment now. If you want to buy, you're going to have to put some skin into the game. You're going to have some down payment. If you want to buy, you're going to have a job and be able to prove your income. And if you want to buy, you're going to have good credit score in order to buy. So the lending requirements right now are the strictest that they have been ever, and so that is helping to keep our real estate market from getting into bubble territory. The fifth reason is that demographic trends are creating new buyers. So the Austin market, sure, prices have been escalating and the locals are looking at these prices and saying, what in the world is going on? But we have so many buyers coming into our market from coastal cities, from California, from the Northwest, from New York, and from other many higher priced cities. So many of those buyers coming to the Austin market look at our prices and think that they are actually a bargain. And then we also have about 50% of our buyers here in the Austin area are coming from other places in Texas as well. So the demographic trends are bringing more and more buyers into the area, which is driving up our prices. Reason number 6 that indicates that we are not in a housing bubble is that foreclosures are almost non-existent. So we just do not have a situation where buyers have bought a home perhaps with nothing down like they used to do 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and then if they lost their job, they couldn't sell their home. Right now, selling a home is no problem, so there should be no reason why anyone should be going into foreclosure in this type of market. There is simply too much demand for any home that goes on the market. Reason number 7 is job creation. Right now, Austin has the lowest unemployment rate than it has ever experienced before. And if we think back till March of 2020, when our economy here and most economies across the nations were shut down because of the lockdowns and unemployment rates shot up to about 14%. Austin and the Dallas-Fort Worth area has recovered the quickest of any area here in Texas, and we are seeing new jobs being created on a weekly basis. So point number 8, are we in a real estate bubble? Right now, buyers in Austin on a resale property are paying 20, sometimes 30% above the list price in order to win in a bidding war. And I have to tell you what, in my real estate career, I haven't seen an experience like this. But as long as those buyers are planning to stay in the home for the next 5 to 7 years, the value of the home is going to catch up to that. So it's almost as if we are in a situation that buyers are paying a future price for the home that they want to win today and to live in today. So if you're buying a home here in Austin and you are paying above the list price in order to win in a bidding war, look, as long as you're planning to live in that home for the next 5 to 7 years, you should be okay. Now, why do we say that? Because as inventory starts to catch up to the demand, and that may take at least 2 years for that to happen, at that point, prices are going to start to level off. We don't expect them to stagnate, of course. So the premiums that buyers are paying today absolutely makes sense. Number 9, a reason why we are not in a real estate bubble is that the post-COVID lifestyles have changed and is creating this demand. So during the shutdown, people were in their homes, working from home, looking at their house and saying, we don't like this house anymore. We're going to continue to work at home even after the pandemic ends. So we need a house that has room for an office, or we need a house that has room for 2 offices, or we want to buy a house that has more land around it, or we want to buy a house that doesn't have the repairs that our current home needs, or a 10 or 15-year-old air conditioning system. So our post-COVID lifestyles is creating the demand for new homes. And then reason number 10 that we are not in a bubble is because right now we have more credit-worthy buyers than we've ever had before. People are equity rich, they are cash rich, people are not tapped out. So there's a lot of cash money out there, but the buyers that are applying for loans have higher credit rates, credit scores than at almost any time in history. So we're seeing in our Austin market highly qualified buyers who, of course, are winning out over the less qualified buyers. And so that's another indication that we're not in bubble territory. So the short of it is prices here in the Austin area are rising for the right reasons. So if you are thinking at all about moving to Austin, the areas that I work, Cedar Park, Liberty Hill, Leander, Pflugerville, Round Rock, Georgetown, this is a perfect time to be buying. And if you live in these areas and you are at all thinking about selling, this is a perfect time for you to capitalize on the equity that's in your home. But look, you've got to do a couple of things. Number 1, please right now hit and smash that like button on this video. Also subscribe, hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you'll be notified whenever a new video goes out every week. And then the other thing you've got to do is, explore my channel. You're seeing some other videos pop up right now. If you want to learn about what it's like to live here, work here, and play here in Cedar Park, Texas, then click on those videos. And you've got to do one more thing. Look down in the description below and you'll see how that you can give me a call, you can send me a text, you can send me an email, and always remember that I've got your back.